Connections Radio presents. This episode of Liberating Menopause is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
Hi, welcome. This is going to be a great podcast today. We are talking about, as we left off on my last episode, we were talking about mindset and the importance of what sleep is like and what is actually happening to women in their sleep. So this is for women who are having trouble sleeping for sure. The way you go to rest yourself when it's time to go to bed, it's the clothes that we wear. Did you know that has effect? So this is for the women who, we're exhausted. We just leave anything on and, we hit the bed and just pass out, right? Well, we're going to change a little bit about that. And I'd like to welcome you to Liberating Menopause on prconnectionsradio.com. Today, my name is Lisa Vasquez. I'm your host, and we are talking about sleepcation. Has anybody heard about that recently? I know that we understand it more in a wellness type atmosphere, that you travel away for restorative rest, right? A structured experience. Well, today we're having a new term coming up called sleepcation. And I just recently seen this on TV. So I thought, wow, after what I was just talking about, I thought this was really great to bring up, because for 8 hours only, these are, big investments on just that sleep. So how I've been seeing it and as I've been reading through it, what I have concluded and seen a lot of is that what is being built out, when I see what sleepcation looks like, it's a room, and it's a beautiful room, right? With relaxation, nice blinds that will close down when you're ready. What I was really enjoying was the counter, the setup of the counter, the way they provided all the nourishment for them. I mean, they had that bottle of dose. I know you saw commercials of that. That's for the liver. All these other cool things. That was the biggest one that I seen there. But I seen some other cool little drinks that they could make, or to rest with, things when you wake up to reinvigorate yourself, I guess, and really boost that body, and I was like really amazed to see how this was all provided. And then I concluded too that, when we bring home a new baby, and prior to the baby coming home, the first thing we actually do is prepare that room, right? We prepare it with the imagination on the wall of what they're going to be seeing, whether it's the colors, learning. Some people go into black and white because of the beginning stages, they say. But, the toys and musical things that are spinning while they're laying there sleeping to mesmerize their mind, right? It's the pajamas. The pajamas are really the comfort that brings the baby into a real good snuggle, right? It's the cleanliness, right? It's the counters. It's, the baby powder, diapers, everything's all fresh right there. And then, of course, in the kitchen, it's ready with all the formulas and everything that will be ready for the baby to drink, right? And all the nourishment and everything that, the silence, the room, everything is beautiful and perfect. And it's for a baby. And my thing is, if that can be done for a baby, and we are the providers of that, chasing this sleepcation is just another way, but now you have to invest in that. So we build a perfect sanctuary for babies, matching beddings and everything, the formula, the oils, the powder, right? But somewhere along the way, the modern life laid off the night crew. And we've been talking about this through almost every episode, where, we really discuss about shutting down those phones, getting women to really understand that shutting those lights out will really set the mind up to close down instead of reignite and get ready to start a new day when it's still in that same 24 hours. You still haven't concluded. But the body doesn't know that because it's going by the light that's reflecting and telling the brain, hey, we're still going. And so, with that same attitude, that's exactly kind of what happens when we go to sleep in our sleepwear. When most women, we don't know that, chasing rainbows is what I call it at night. And this is scrolling, worrying, overthinking, erupts the day into a mood swing. These are the things that happen the next day because we're not having that sleep, right? And again, ladies in the whole world at the workplace, I understand the battles, the changes, the structures, and all these things that are happening to us because we are so overloaded. I mean, that's why these wellness tourism moments are, there's such a big travel. I mean, women lead experience-based spending and structured time away, right? We have to get away. It's always we have to get away. But what if we could actually create that harmony in your own bedroom to get away? That when you come into it, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that have TVs in their room, clocks that are ticking loud, clocks that have lights on it reflecting. And sometimes with their TVs, if you have Roku or certain boxes that connect your cable, they have lights on them, right? All these things, they may look like they don't bother you, but they're really, the body knows. And so, there's so much that women are doing. We're stepping into this world where, sleepwear is going to be the tools, right? I mean, we want to rest and we want to become where sleepcation becomes a nightly retreat for our hormones. We have to understand, as I told you, that night crew, when we give it the time that it needs, when it comes up, what it does, did you even know? Okay, so here's how I pictured this, because the brain actually shrinks a little bit, right, to release some of the fluid. And I just saw that as a drawbridge closing down. And what it's doing is emptying out all the toxins, all the junk. When you have stress at work, during a meeting, all these little things, you don't see the little baby toxins, microscopic toxins that build up in the brain. And this is the stuff that needs to wash out so that we can have a better day tomorrow. I mean, there's actually things that happen to us because if you're dehydrated, that really puts a heavy effect on the way the body has to cleanse itself at night. So by understanding and seeing this new sleepcation attitude is just really pushing the idea, the importance of struggle to find that sleep, because today we're looking for it now where we've been ignoring it. And as I said, I called it firing the night crew. Now we're looking to rehire them, but at a higher price and with only a short amount of time. And I'm sure you could regenerate in those 8 hours and feel a lot better. But after that, then what happens? After that wellness travel tour you took, got away, everything was great. And, when you come back, it's, oh gosh, I'm back to the same grind. I'm back to that. But it's really trying to learn and understand what you captured in those moments and what it did for you. That's what's really, really important. Because did you know that your wellness concerns they're not random, they are biological. It's your hormones. And, this can all be solved when we can find that relaxation. Vacation, it's not a vacation, it's a retreat for the body. And calling it these names, it's really just going to sleep. a nightly restoration where the night crew entertains your hormones and resets your clarity and, rebuilds your emotional strength. Because opening that door and coming into that world. I mean, there's even a verse in the Bible I was just looking at, Jeremiah 31:26. This verse is so unique at this moment because there's so much heavy things going on in the Bible, right? But this is where sleep had been pleasant to me. Jeremiah said that when he awoke, he looked around and he realized, wow, how good he's feeling, right? Because there's the comfort of hope. God promises he can bring peace to our troubled mind. And sometimes by just relaxing it and putting the mind to rest, you're going to feel so much enlightenment the next day. But we're so busy at work, and we're so busy that when we get up, I mean, even as you know, when you try to close down your mind, I read it all the time on different social media posts that women, their struggle that they're having, like, my mind just won't shut off. How do I stop it? What do I do? I've been up for a day already. I mean, all these conversations, they are real, they happen. There's so much of this probably happening right there in your own office, but we don't know that. And because these are hidden pains behind closed doors, right? The sleep is so important, because I know sometimes in the past, before I knew all this stuff, and I would wake up and I would think, wow, how the whole world is sleeping. The whole world is sleeping. I look at my dogs and everybody's sleeping and everything is quiet. And I'm sitting here. Now, I have a whole different way of how I was looking at it, because I was trying to analyze myself. Like, why am I up? What is it? Is there some messages I'm missing? Is there, what is making me get up? Hormonally, of course, but because it's always that 2 and 3 in the morning time, right? And with the age shift and things like that, that's also another factor that has affected our sleep. So I would try to create and wonder what's happening. So then my coolest thing is, I had recently, and not to really get that personal, but I actually, so these products and things that I work with, it's a core cleanse. It's a 4-week core cleanse. It's prebiotics. It's 5 days of really nourishing, healing the gut, healing the whole body inside. And then the last 2 days, all that stuff is cleaned out, and then it starts going up, right? And when it does that, part of the transition was finding that my sleep was changing. It was becoming deeper. I mean, every day I'm always learning something new to develop and grow into a woman's life. But when I get to experiment on myself, I am my own market, because I wouldn't ask you to do anything I haven't done and I didn't get a good result. I stand by everything I do, because I'm all about women. I love that. I want to see wellness. I want to bring a lot of hope to you, because we have a long road to go with that work stress, with the badgering, the bosses, the changes, the new upgrades, the computers changing, the whole system has changed. And for the senior people in that lane, they get upset because now they got to learn new technology. And there's a fear in that sometimes, because they get scared that, oh no. I mean, I worked with an ultrasound tech, and I was really surprised, because she would not let them upgrade her machine. She didn't want it upgraded because she's known it so well. Honestly, the theory wasn't great, because, there's so many more advantages of things we can see, but her machine wasn't displaying all that, but it was keeping her that comfort. And so they let it happen that way, and she used that machine. I mean, in practice, I personally wouldn't have liked knowing that, but that was what I'm saying, that when we come into those new lifestyles and changes, it's scary. It's complicated. I wouldn't say scary. It's challenging in a different level. And change has to happen, because this is a new world, and it's constantly changing in software and things that we're doing. So it's really, as I was telling you, that sleep, the rest, the mind power era, that's where we're at, because we don't know what's going to happen next, and again, the stress of so many people that are, losing their job to these different sources. That's a whole nother problem that would be an upset in your sleep. But bringing hope the next day and trying to relax the body and bring that into your pattern of, these people are paying thousands of dollars for that sleepcation in 8 hours, when we have this at home, but we don't know how to filter it out and create that environment. And I know, because, there's a lot of havoc and craziness that goes on. And, I'm growing up just like everyone else. And, those are the things, what I've seen, because of what I see and how it disrupted women's lives in my practice at work in a setting of medical lifestyle, right? You see all that. So you're always looking for another road, because when you come into a medical building, it looks like that's the only road. It looks like a one-way street and there's no way out of it, but there is another way. And this is why I bring these conversations, because I want you to understand more than what's being out there. I want to be that voice that's changing you, because I told you we are in a good place today because you get to learn all this education to grow into it. In our upcoming episodes, we're going to be talking about, postmenopausal women and how they believe that once it's over, it's over. And, you have to understand, menopause is only a moment in time. It's not everything. And anything down the lane after that is going to be complicated. But they think that all the complications lie during the cycle time. And it doesn't, because hormones is a long-term deficiency. It keeps going all the way, So when you hit 80, now remember, 1 out of 7 will live to be 100. So going into the 80s, even in 70s, possibly, we're getting into a lot of osteoporosis, right? You have a lot of inflammation, a lot of changes that are happening. There's a lot of urinary tract infections, so many of those. And that's so... It's being put down in a way that it's not really revealing how infectious it can become to us with the inflammation that occurs from those UTIs and different things like this, because of the dryness that occurs, how it lets things in and gives us an upset. There's so many different structures in our body that, we need to dedicate space for rest, connection, and time away to restore ourselves, understand what's happening, learn the basis of our hormones. Because again, what I told you is that these conversations and words and was all happening before there was a big language for it. And here we are today building that same thing that was built in 1980 with the changes in breast health and breast care, bringing out education, really talking about those mammograms, raising the voice on that has created a lot of life-saving patterns. And when we talk about hormones, it's a life-saving lifestyle change that is all part of that same connection. You don't see it that way because it's not been told that way, but because this can really change, our heart values. Women are high on having heart issues and all these things. But when we really get into what these hormones are doing, they are really saving our lives if we know how to drive the lane with them together, not just going and suddenly, all these things start happening and 4 years later, you find out it was that, and now you're getting the repair system taken care of, but it was those 4 years that you went through so much. So to kind of skip to that, take you there, show you how to go be aggressive and find these things out for your own self, it's just a really great pattern that I get to bring to you. And I'm really excited about that, because these conversations, again, I bring it down to a layman type conversation so that you can really understand it. Because, in this world, we have so many different issues that for women, it just gets complicated because nobody puts 2 and 2 together. And then I know it gets hard where, it's hard to understand who do I trust? You go to the doctor, they say one thing, you hear me saying something, and it's all about really just listening around after that, following it up, figuring it out, hearing another conversation by someone who's talking about the same conversation on hormones. You keep hearing it, and all of a sudden these things are going to create a better you for sure. So tonight I want to talk about something we all do, but rarely do well. That is it. Something babies, that they receive effortlessly. And why can't we become that baby? And adults, we've forgotten how to honor something we now are again paying thousands of dollars for. Building that sanctuary, doing all these things is really a place to rest the mind. And that's what I was telling you in medication, putting out meditation, not medication, meditation, having a place for the mind to go to its playground, to go to its workout, to go relax. And meditation in the daytime and afternoon. I told you when I would be at work, when lunchtime came, I look crazy to the team because I would get dressed and go running. I had to go release. I've been around so many different people's energies all day, all morning, right? And some of them can be injured energies because, suddenly there was something on my film that I seen on this lady and now she left. Mentally that does something to me. I'm not happy to see that. Oh my gosh, this woman has an issue and it looks pretty bad. And I know. And she doesn't know yet, so I went to go run all this off because it's like, remember how we used to have that one piece of paper that you can duplicate copy on, and then you lift it up and take that page out and it's all clear. I forgot what you call that. And even there was a game, right? I forgot what that one was called. Oh my gosh, this is aging me out, right? Where it was a screen and you draw on it and then you just turn it upside down, shake it, and it's all clear, right? And that's exactly what I'm trying to say is we have to clear that landscape in our bodies, in our minds. We have to open it up and allow the brain to do what it needs to do. And don't forget, hydration is going to be a big part of that because I was reading and there's so many things to talk about on this subject and we got to take it in sections. I can't bring it all to you, but the main thing I always want to bring to you is don't forget to drink that water because say you're going for labs, you know that before, during your fasting, if you're fasting, you can still drink water, but how much it's going to plump up your veins and really give them something to go for, right? The hydration of what it does, just plumping your skin, just making your hair look great, all these different things that can affect you just because you were drinking water, so think about that and consider that for yourself because women, there's 20% more time planning we do on trips than men. Did you know that? Men, it only takes them about 9 hours and we're only this reflects a deeper intention and investment that we're doing in our safety and our well-being and structural experience. Women drive wellness tourism growth. We grow it into 136% at 2020 level. In 2020, women being the primary participants in yoga retreats, mindfulness trips, and sleep and focus programs. And again, I told you, it's a great thing to do. I'm dying to get to one of those, but it's the fact that when you come home, do you maintain it? Do you create the environment? Do you change your ways? Or is it just something to get away? I know when I started my career, my biggest grow up thing was my first check, I took myself to Hawaii and solo traveling because nobody can go with me because they were all tied up with other things. And I didn't want to miss out on the world. So it was either I get to go or I'm going to stay. I did have a friend waiting for me in Hawaii. So, she had just moved there and she was my best buddy at the time. And I wanted to go see her. So that was my first vacation to even leave the mainland. And that's how far I traveled. And then after that, year after year, I would take myself out 2 weeks out of the summer just to get away from the environment, from the work, from everything. Those were just my most favorite times of life for me. Now, I didn't know back then. I'm only in my 20s, right? I didn't know I'm regenerating myself. I didn't know while I'm sitting on the beach by myself because I don't know anybody. I'm actually meditating. I know I did sit there and figure things out, issues that I had back at home. I was like, okay, well, we won't take that one back. We won't take that one back. So that's what I mean when we go on these trips. Are we emptying toxins and garbage out of us and leaving it there and let it sail away in the ocean? Or are we bringing it back with us so that now we can deal with it and thinking that, it's going to change or be different, but it won't change or be different unless you change and you're different. And this needs to be an ongoing practice more than just a getaway, because it's so comforting when you know that you are going to have this great adventure every year, and you can't wait to get away and just walk away from it all. Even when I got there, I had so much growing up young. I went there and I was like a beach bum. I had a backpack. I would catch the bus. I had great cars in Chicago, but I would catch the bus. I would ride their bus to drive character into me just to get to the beach, and do all these things that I didn't do when I was at home, because I knew who I was there, and here I just wanted to be. I just wanted to connect and be, and that's what happened. I did become that. I am evolving, and because of all that structure is who I am today. All that is what grew me into who I'm developing in, where I'm headed, and what's coming down for me. And it's just a beautiful thing, because when you can see it and know it's already there waiting for you, it's just not revealed yet. That's the beauty of the imagination, the dreams, and everything that you put out to hopefully come back. And especially if you have to be anything, they say, just be kind, right? Just give a smile. I was Walgreens today, and I was just sitting there waiting, and these girls were in line, and this one lady, she just looked at me and smiled, and I just smiled back. That was just beautiful, right? Because her smile brought my smile, and it was just a great smile of harmony at that moment. While they were all stressed in line, I just figured I'd sit there and wait for, I wasn't in a hurry. And great thing about retirement, right? I had time. So, it was fun and relaxing, and I just, it's another mindset thing. It's the relaxation. Now, people, unfortunately, if you hadn't been sleeping last night and things like that, and you get there and you see that line and it's such a drudge, and there's just more mood, and there's just like, oh my gosh, can't this line go faster? But when you have a different reaction in that calm, in the place, and that's what it's all about, shutting it all down to open it all up the next day and be there to connect and be. So I just want to say thank you so much for listening to me today. There's going to be so many different more conversations on this, because I'm all about mindset and that mind power. Cognitive and physical togetherness is everything. But let's bring the power back from what sleep does for our body, a growing body. Everybody have a great time. Have a good week, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. Thank you. Lisa Vasquez coming to you from prconnectionsradio.com. Liberating menopause. Bye.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.